Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm just gonna talk about some of the things that happened in 2020, at least some of the things that affected me, and I'm sure it affected most of you guys out there. This is just my opinion, of course, because I'm going to talk about COVID-19 and I'm also going to talk about the social unrest that's been happening here in the United States. And of course, we see it happening in other countries around the world. So again, this is my opinion, and we can agree to disagree, but we do not need to be disagreeable. So please feel free to leave me comments below on maybe something that you disagree with or you agree with, or maybe corrections that you want to point out in anything that I have to say. For the most part, this is my opinion. Within this opinion, there might be some factual statements, of course, but it's my opinion nonetheless. So 2020 started out like any other year for me. It was a year that I started planning stuff that I wanted to get done. I know I was supposed to graduate in May from grad school, so I had graduation planned. And like I normally do, I also have trips planned for spring break and summer, which I normally do ahead of time in order to get the best prices and to get my friends to actually come along. So these are things that we would pre-plan. So all these things were put in motion in regards to what was supposed to happen. And then, of course, as we all know, COVID happened. Now, the reason I want to touch on COVID because COVID happened before the protesting started, so I thought I'd touch on COVID. Up until March, we always heard about COVID, but no one was taking that serious. As far as we knew, it wasn't inside the United States, so it wasn't something that we were taking serious. At least I wasn't. I saw it on the news. I keep abreast with the news that are happening both in the United States and around the world, and I watch a lot of Jamaican news on YouTube as well. So I have an idea of things that are happening, but because, as I said, it wasn't happening in my community, I didn't really take it serious, and I think that was the case for many people in this country. So when it happened, that it got here and it started spreading, the businesses started to think about closing and all of that, and schools started closing, right? So I work in a school, so school closed. We were out of school like probably halfway into March. We were teaching from home, and at that time a lot of other businesses started closing down. Schools all over the country started closing. States start closing down. There are stay-at-home order, and all of those things were put in place. And that's when schools started closing. That's when it kind of dawned on me that this is really serious. Like, this is happening. And I was watching it on the news before we even got to the closing part, when the numbers started going up with the number of infection and people dying. And that's when I really got really nervous about everything that's happening. So this is just, to be honest with you, just the worst thing, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people agree with me on this, that could happen. I know there are people out there that don't believe this still, which is shocking to me, but people are going to believe what they believe. But it is here. People are dying. I know people who are sick. I know of people who know people who died. I'm thankful I don't know anyone personally, but I know people who have gotten sick, and all these things are happening too. So it is sad. It's bad. I mean, the United States has really, really high numbers right now, and I'm here in Georgia, and we have really high numbers as well. And when you look at what's going on around the world, it's not just the United States. It's a pandemic, right? So it's affecting every corner of the world. So everyone is dealing with this at the same time. People have been shelter in place from pretty much months, right? Because now I'm making this video, we're in the middle of July, but I'm talking about something that happened in March when we started closing down. So at this point, most of the states have opened back up, but now they're going back in a situation where it's getting even worse. So they're thinking about, kind of slowing down in regards to the opening up and all of that. So it's still really bad. At this point, as I'm making this video, we're over 4 million people infected in the United States. And that's people who they've tested, right? And over 140-something thousand people dead, which is just just sometimes I'm trying to comprehend how many people that is, and I'm hoping that people are getting that as well. Now, I know that there's always many sides to this story because, of course, you watch the news, you read up, and as I do, I tend to go to the WHO or CDC and read up on stuff, what to do. I try to be as safe as possible. I wear my mask when I leave the house. I try to make sure that I'm keeping, social distance, washing my hands and all these things. And I haven't really been out and about when it comes to like parties or anything like that in a long time. So I'm trying to do everything I'm trying to do. These are some of the things that mitigated things that you can do to really control this spread. And one of the things that they talk about is wearing masks, and that has even gotten kind of political in this country, where people are, there's one side where people are saying, I don't want to wear a mask because, my First Amendment right is being trampled, and other side people are saying, please wear a mask because you could save a life. And, the sad thing about it for me is that it's become political. I wish it didn't, because I think that when it's all said and done, we just want to make sure that we're staying safe and we're keeping others around us safe. And if wearing a mask is one of the thing that you can do to kind of help with that and to bring the numbers down, and so that we can go back to as normal as possible as we can, I would say that I would think everyone wanted to do that so that we can get back to that place. But again, when you have this kind of division when it comes to this tribal type behavior, you tend to have people not really thinking about the issue, but they're kind of looking at it from a political point of view, which is not the way that we should be doing this when it comes to something that is affecting our health. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, because I tend to be one of the people who want to get back to normal as much as possible, but I know this is not possible until the numbers are down, and also until we can get this under control. And people are just trying to do as much as they can to actually make sure that that happens. So I'm not trying to push any type of taking sides or anything like that. I'm just trying to live, and I'm trying to hope that I can do my part to make sure others live as well. And if that means that I have to wear a mask, then I'll just go ahead and do that and just think about the big picture, right? So that's just how I look at that. We're almost in August and the numbers are still going up. It's not looking pretty. There's no vaccine at this point, so all we can do is just do the things that will actually try to get this thing under control. It's not going to eradicate it by any means, but it can get it under control and bring down the numbers. All right, so I'm just going to actually go right into the social unrest, because that happened, or that kind of started right around the time when the video circulated, in regards to George Floyd, and just the horrific video of him just being pretty much life being drained out of him right there on video. I watched it on social media, and I think it took me like 3 times to watch the whole thing through. And just to see something like that was just so painful, so hurtful, that I actually get it. I know, I feel why people felt it necessary to get up and to go out and to march and to say enough is enough. This is not the first time we've seen an issue with police incident or excessive force with police in regards to black people in this country or minorities. We've seen it many times, and while people are pretty much just had enough with this, I just look at it, and when I see it, I just felt that like this has gone way too far. And I know that it's not the first time these things are happening, but now we have a video, so we're seeing it, right? People have their cameras, their camera phones out, so these things have been videotaped and they're being sent to us right pretty much within our living room. So I was upset like anyone else, and I'm thinking it doesn't matter the color of your skin. If you watch that video, if you're not really upset, if you're not really just saddened by what you see, then I really have to question the type of person that you are. Honestly, I'm just being honest about that, because I cannot imagine how his family or his loved ones or the people who know him must feel, because I felt so bad. I cannot imagine how they felt. So, I am for Black Lives Matter because I'm black. I live in America and I'm black. Look, I've experienced racism, so I can only speak from my point of view, and you can only speak from yours. But I know that these things happen, and I know that it's institutional, and I know that when it comes to racism, the structure and how just deep it is it's going to take some time for this to really be cleansed, for the system to be cleansed of it, right? Because we know, personally, I know that it is within the police force, it is within corporate America, it is within just the culture, and this is because I've experienced these things, so I know. Now, I'm not saying by any means that all police officers are bad. I would never say that. But they are police officers that, like this gentleman, right? And I won't even mention his name, who did what he did, and he was on camera, and he felt like it was okay for him to keep doing that. You literally drained the life out of someone on camera, just right there. And if you have people like that within any profession, these are the people that should not be there, because when it's all said and done, the job of the police officer is to serve and protect. And if you're supposed to serve and protect and people are literally scared of you, then that means you're not really doing the job that you're supposed to do. And as a black man in America, I should not feel scared to call the police or to approach the police or feel threatened when I'm pulled over by the police, because I'm thinking that could be me. Because when I look at him, I the thought went through my mind that could be me. But it goes back to things that are present in the society, in the system here in this country. And it's not just America. So I'm not trying to sit here and say, oh, it's just America that black people experience racism. It's on a global scale, because this is, this is something that happened in other countries as well. But I'm talking about here because I live here in this country. So, I'm hoping that with these peaceful protests and with people speaking out against it, and with people really saying, hey, enough is enough, and we need changes, and we need real changes, because no one should be treated like this. And you're living in a country where you should feel safe, you should have the freedom to exercise the rights that you have, which protesting is a part of that. And you should push for changes if you see that there's a group of people who are marginalized, and this should not happen. So I am happy that people are out there, and it's not just black folks that are out there protesting, because when you look at the protests, there are people from all backgrounds, all different races, all different ethnic groups. Because when one group of people are oppressed, one group of people are experiencing injustice, it should honestly bother all other people, because the right thing or the right way to treat people is that all people should be treated equal. And it doesn't matter who you are, you should be able to stand up against this, because when it's all said and done, if you look away from this type of oppression and say it's not my people or it's not us, eventually it will get to you. So you should be outraged by this. And I think black folks, not just in America but around the world, are outraged by the treatment that we are exposed to on a day-to-day basis for no reason except for the color of our skin. And it's wrong, it's totally wrong. And I will call out against that any day, because I am the type of person who feel that people, regardless of the color of your skin, regardless of your religion, regardless of your political affiliation, regardless, you should be treated with respect and dignity, and everyone deserves that. And this man did not deserve to die like that. And I don't care what anyone want to say. If you can't believe that, then obviously there's something seriously wrong with you. So I highlighted those two issues because I thought 2020 is just, we're halfway through it, and we're a little bit more than halfway through it, and it's just been so much coming at us. There's so much that we're dealing with. People are frustrated, they're tired, they're at home, and they're ready to go back out and enjoy life and start working again and start doing the things that is meaningful to them. And with that, we have a pandemic that we're dealing with that, and with that we have social unrest because we're pushing for changes. So there's a lot going on, but when it's all said and done, I think that people are resilient, people are strong. And what we have to also remember that, we have to find it within ourselves to care and respect for each other, regardless of what we look like, regardless of who we are, and regardless of the system that is still ingrained in this country. Because I'm not going to sit here and act like, everything is perfect and everyone is treated perfectly and everything is fine, because it's not. We all know it's not. But my hope is that, the people, the good people out there, and there are a lot more good people than bad people. I do believe that these people will come together and really push for changes and push for a better America, because this country is actually a country that people do believe in. And I believe that once you believe in something and you push for it and you push for changes that will be positive for everyone, that it can happen. So regardless of COVID, or regardless of this social unrest that we're still experiencing, this change that we're pushing for, this Black Lives Matters that we're saying, yes, we need change, I do believe that, in the long run, things are going to work out. And I do believe that people are really serious about change this time. And it's not just like, hey, I'm going to see this, we're going to protest, and then we're going to move on, and it's going to happen again, and we're going to do it again. I think that this time is really a push for change, because change is really needed for all Americans, everyone who's in this country, everyone who lives here, regardless of who you are, to be treated fairly and to feel that they have the same opportunity and they're valued the same way as everyone else. That is my hope, that is my dream, and that's the reason why I believe that pushing for change is the right thing to do. Okay guys, thank you for listening to this video. Again, I just want to make sure that I say this was just my opinion. I'm just talking about things that I noticed, things that I've experienced in regards to this opinion piece that I'm posting. Please feel free to leave your comment below and to correct me on anything that you think I might not have stated correctly. Most of what I said is my opinion. There are facts in there in regards to like the COVID. It did happen, it's still happening, and of course the social unrest. There are a lot of those, some of those statements are also facts too, but of course for the most part it's my opinion I'm giving, and I feel that we should be able to talk about things, and we can agree to disagree, as I said earlier, but let's not be disagreeable. Thank you again for tuning into my channel, and I do hope and pray that you're in a good place and you're actually doing well. Thank you. Peace.